earlier. Now, hot off the presses, we've got the schedule for Week 18. You want to take a look at the schedule?
Let's check it out.
Have you seen it yet?
I saw it a little bit on the end of our Sunday Night Football coverage here a little bit.
So there it is. So Saturday, we got Browns-Ravens, game that doesn't mean anything. But the Bengals-Steelers potentially does, right? If the Bengals win, they keep their hopes alive.
Well, the thing on Saturday, that means something, and winning the AFC North does matter for the Steelers and the Ravens too. So there is something there, right?
You're right.
And then you could, if the Ravens lose and the Steelers win, the Ravens go from, we won the division and we're the 3 seed to now we're on the road and maybe going to Houston or somewhere else on the playoff game. Mm-hmm. So that's where there is meaning in that. And, of course, like you said, the Bengals got to win.
Sunday, 1 o'clock games, a couple games that mean something there. You got the Falcons taking on the Panthers and the Buccaneers taking on the Saints. That Falcons game won't matter if the Buccaneers take care of business against New Orleans.
But they won't know because they're going on at the same time. So that's why they scheduled it that way.
That works out well. All right. So the remaining games look like –
Is that was the one –
Hold on, we're going to come back. We're coming back. Don't worry about it. Don't freak out.
The bottom line is none of them really mean jack shit except for our game.
Broncos. So Broncos, if they win that game, they're in.
Right.
And then you've got
Chargers. Raiders means nothing.
Yep.
If
correct.
the Bengals want to be in, they got to hope the Dolphins lose to the Jets. Right. So that's the Dolphins Jets. That's 425.
That could mean something, but we'll have to see.
49ers and Cardinals mean nothing. Seahawks and Rams mean nothing.
Now means nothing in that one too. Yep. And then maybe seeding, a little seeding, seeding here and there, and some opponents. And then not pictured is our game, which is the Lions hosting the Minnesota Vikings.
That's right. That's right. So we'll figure it out. Ahmed, we might have to fly Ahmed to Detroit to do the pod after the game. We'll just do it at midfield. Wouldn't that be cool? Just you and me, pod, middle of the midfield.
Hey, let's do. Why not? I think I'm
or I'm going to Zoom you or something, and I'll be at midfield, and you'll be like, "What? I can't hear you." I'm like, "Well, I'm at midfield. It's hard. Sorry."
Oh, look at that! The NFL's already got the graphic.
That's going to be good.
Battle for the North. You got a
battle for the North.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, Justin Jefferson, 8:20 on NBC and Peacock. One more game to go. Monday Night Football, rematch of the NFC Championship game last year. 49ers not going to the playoffs.
No, they're not.
Lions are. This game really means nothing for them at this point because it all comes down to whoever wins that Week 18 game, which we do now know for sure is on NBC. Have fun in Detroit. The Lions are a 3.5-point favorite, or they were, coming into this one. You predicted a 10-point victory by the Lions. Before we get to that, I'm going to tell you what Dan Campbell said this week, because now at this point, this game means nothing.
No, it doesn't matter if they lose. It's all about next week.
It means nothing at all. So Dan Campbell said this last week, quote, "I'll make this easy for everyone. That way all the critics can jump out and start attacking, but that way you don't have to debate them anymore. We're bringing everything we got to this game, and we are playing. I don't care what it looks like and where it's at or who this or who that. We're going to play to win this game out on the West Coast, so there you go."
That's what they are. That's who he is.
Yeah.
And the way he's thinking it is he's going, we're going to win this one, and then we're going to win next one, and we're going to have a home field, and we're going to have the bye, and we'll be fine. And we'll rest then. But he doesn't know any different there. That's just who he is. He's go forward. And this is, again, it is the time of the year where, man, it can work against you taking your foot off the gas pedal and think, we'll reaccelerate next week. When I step on it again, all 8 cylinders and everything will be fine, right? It'll be no problem. And that's scary. And he doesn't want to do that this time of the year. More times than not, right? Other than last year, which is the only time in the history of my life I've seen that, okay? Most teams that go to win the Super Bowl are playing their best football at the end of December. All right? The Kansas City Chiefs are the only team that I've ever seen debunk that in my life. And I told you how shocked I was about it last year. And it's still amazing to me.
But at least for them, they kept playing each and every week.
They kept playing. Exactly right. So they worked on the kinks and they kept it going. And all of a sudden, they kind of looked good in the wild card game. Got a little mojo game. Oh, shit. They looked really good against the Bills. They dominated them. And then it was like, they're going to the Ravens hot. So that's where he doesn't want to lose that. And with their injuries, and I think he knows the offense has to click on all cylinders too, that's another reason I think you maybe be a little reluctant to knock them out of that rhythm. The same thing I'm arguing with the Chiefs. You just had your best offensive game, and now you're not going to play for 3 weeks? You might look like shit again or kind of average in the divisional game. So this is what I expected from Dan Campbell.
Yeah, and so you're sticking by your
I totally
10-point win by the Detroit.
the
Lions
49ers feel like they are done, and they have made off-season plans. It's like it's been a long few years for them.
You've got them with Kyle.
They've not. We're going. We're out of here. I'm skipping the wild card week, guys. I'm going to Kyle. We're going to the Caribbean. See ya. I wish, but no, that won't be happening.
Yeah, and I do think that if the Lions get up big early, I do think maybe he will take some of his guys out a little earlier than he would have normally, but we'll see.
Okay, hold on. We got a question.
So we got a couple questions.
Yes.
Which one you want to
Jacina
attack here?
Andrew. I didn't say that. I corrected myself.
So Jacina Andrew said, you just said on national television that the Lions don't pass protect well. The Lions have given up the least amount of sacks in the whole NFL and ranked number 1 in offensive line in the league.
Jacina Andrew, listen to what I said. Go back on DVR, and I went. I corrected myself, and the Lions don't rush the passer that well.
Oh, yes.
And the Vikings are really good at protecting, and that was scary for the Lions on defense, who like to play man-to-man. But now you got to cover these guys in Minnesota are very good. And if you only rush 4, like Sam Darnold's going to have time to throw. That's what I said. I did bumble it at first and said the Lions don't protect well or whatever. But then I went, excuse me. I guess you did. Come on, Justina. But I corrected that. I know if you've been listening to me, the Lions have one of the best offensive lines in football. I've never taken a shot at them all year as far as that. What's another one?
Cervantes 15 Sims, I love you, Poppy, but I saw you and Devin talking about the Flores defense and how it can pose problems for Detroit. Are we ignoring that Jared and the boys put 30+ on them at their house? Ford Field going to be rocking next week.
I know. This is what's tough about Football Night in America halftime shows, okay? We don't have enough time to unpack it. They tell us we can only talk about this and we only got a few seconds.
Yeah.
So I couldn't give you the other side of the story.
Yeah, come on, Matt.
No, but so I'm not ignoring anything. You know that I think the world of Detroit's offense and Ben Johnson. I mean, I think the world of it. I really do. I get that. All I'm saying is that Minnesota's defense is scary, and if Minnesota gets a lead, they become scarier. That was all we were trying to say there. All right?
You go all year with Minnesota fans being like, come on, man, give us some respect. For one segment at halftime, you give them some respect, and here come my Lions fans.
This is where it all falls apart. No, listen, I expect our game on Sunday Night Football next week between the Lions and Vikings. I would be shocked if it's not at least high 20s, right? If it goes in the 30s, of course, I'm not shocked there either. Because these are offenses where you could play really good defense, and they're still going to score 28 points. They're just too good. There's too many things they can do to beat you and score and move the ball. So, no, I'm pumped for it, and certainly have all the respect in the world, Jacina and Carl Cervantes 15 for the Detroit Lions.
This game should not mean this much.
Your friends?
I am mad. They are my friends.
Yeah.
They are now. This game should not. I'm so mad this game means this much. You know, the Lions have had such a great year with all these wins and the win streak. I think it was 10, 11 games in a row.
You sound like a scared